Everybody, and welcome yet again to Enough Talk, the L5R video podcast. Today we are video podcasting Thunderous Applause.
Acclaim!
Oh,
Give
it's
me a
Acclaim.
claim!
Dang, I wanted to do a golf clap joke there, but I got the name
Yeah.
of the set wrong. We're doing Crane, guys, and we're starting out with Diadoji Kuraru. He is another Iron Crane. And Paul, if the L5R cards are any indication, you think the Diadoji is the biggest family in the Crane?
They always get a couple. It's a thing, though delightfully not a scout. Okay. I guess maybe the keyword is they lost on the keyword game. No more keyword game for them. Okay, so let's break it
It's
down.
the key. Oh, but no, he does have the keyword game. So come on down, sir. You are on the keyword
So
game.
whenever I read one of these, my first question is, can you name Jesse? Can you name a spear? Do you got one?
Naginata.
Okay. I do not believe that is a spear. Let's
Okay,
check.
wait. Heavy Yari.
Oh, did you cheat?
Of course
It's
I didn't cheat.
Heavy Yari is definitely a spear. Naginata is in fact a Naginata, not a spear, and so it would fail. So I'm just going to ignore the +1/+1 if it's a spear. Now, I think there's a spear in this set. Don't hold me to that, because you know, if it's easy enough, if it was just like if he has a weapon, then I would consider it. But to me, spear is too restrictive of a deck building thing to worry about. So for me, two guy that gives up my force. That's a fine deck for your Swarm Scout military deck that already has two different 3/4 for 4 gold guys. Tossing them like you can build that deck pretty easy, and you can build it with the Geisha Sensei and just put out a bunch of dudes. And like this guy fits into that shell perfectly pleasant. I don't think he makes it that much more powerful.
Mm.
I don't know if I like that much more than just a Zethar. But
Well,
-3/4 is a battle ability that is like you just use it. And
absolutely.
it
So that was my
matters.
point, is that, of course, I don't play him over Xanthar necessarily, but I do play him over, like, who's the guy that's stabbing the Oni in the head? There's like
Sure.
there's two of them.
Or whatever. Yeah.
There's a ton of these.
Even
Crane has
maybe
a
the
ton of these
resilient
four
guy.
gold for 3/4 do nothings, and this is a 4 gold
Right.
for 2/4 that does something, and so I
The
totally
one
pick him.
4 gold reserve guy gets a bonus till the end of the
Hmm.
turn. Like, that's an ability that you play that does things, and so he gets a good spot. And -3/4 is a lot because this deck's probably playing some amount of like QQE effects or fear effects, and like being able to set up to turn those effects on is what battles are about. So
Or even just in count your math edition,
just count your numbers. Yep,
he's worth
absolutely.
5/4 total. Now he's got to be he's an opposed 5/4 guy, which is not so bad.
Yep.
Now you got to be opposed. I don't know how the deck's unopposed province math looks if you start switching out 3/4 guys for 2/4 guys, but I can't imagine it's a total
And
blow.
you can always look at spears and see if that matters. I won't, but
I won't, but you might. Doji Burrito. Doji Burrito.
uh,
He's,
that's what happens with that burritos.
that's right. If you eat too many burritos, you will become an
Yep.
borderline unplayable
So
magistrate.
doesn't do anything. This is another compassion card. 4 pH for 4 pH when you have compassion for 5 gold is excellent rate.
Yeah.
And being able to proclaim for Phoenix is great in that, they can buy them for the yard, right?
Yeah.
And it's a magistrate, and that's a keyword that's moving into province and more cards. So this is a card that will be played primarily if you're just trying to fill your deck. One of those people that wants to play a magistrate card, and I need to get to magistrate number 15 before I feel comfortable with my magistrate honor deck. Then I'll maybe go to Burrito. But I mean, you just compare him to any other magistrate that does something, and I feel like he comes out pretty far.
I think Magistrate's a canard here. I think the only thing that matters about this card is the potential 4 pH. So I'm playing an Honor Rocket deck. I want a guy with 4 pH. How consistently is this guy my guy? And I don't know the answer to that question.
You're right, because there's already enough other magistrates. Like, you already have the 4 gold magistrate for 3 pH. You've already got the Destined magistrate that's 3 pH for 6. You've already got Narime, who's like the exact same stat line, but has an absent move-in, power thing.
Yep.
So I just don't. I feel like it just doesn't bring enough to the table, that one extra point of PHG and force.
Well,
So
I'm
I
saying like
don't.
there are builds of Crayon that don't play any of those other magistrate cards.
Oh, okay.
They just want high pH guys. Like this is just like if this guy was 2/2, 5 gold, 4 pH, we'd be having a conversation about how all the other decks should play him. He's a 5 gold cost guy with 4 pH. You
Yeah.
can't get 4 pH anymore. Like he's big. He's a big honor bump. You know what I mean? And
Okay.
like this
Yeah.
is sometimes that. And you're playing an honor deck, so obviously you're going to be down on provinces. The question is, what turn do you become down on provinces, and for how many turns before the game ends are you down on provinces? So like, what's
Yeah,
the
but
window that you can buy him in?
right. So like he's really good. Like so he's great when you're at 3 provinces and 36 honor because no other simple cross. You don't want to play this guy. Maybe some.
I think he's actually really bad because of the new order.
Yeah.
And like they'll take their first province on 3 or 4 or something, and then they'll flip their new order and blow up one of theirs, and you won't have compassion anymore.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah. So I don't like Bruno.
Pushing on to Hoshihana.
There's clear storytelling, passion, game, destined. Okay, this is one of those like then. Okay, I like this card. It fits. It has it has that sort of courtier trait which you might want for a courtier honor deck. So that's just a card that like again when people build decks, they tend to build like I'm gonna build Crane Honor, and then it's like okay, what kind of Crane Honor? I'm gonna build Courtier Crane Honor. Like this is a guy that's like, oh, he's a Courtier, which lets me turn on these, inexplicable challenge, and then that fits with, I played my Sons I straighten this guy. This is a fine card. Another one of those cards that I'm not excited about. It doesn't make me want to play Courtier Honor, but if I'm already in that direction, I'll play Hoshihana. I'm trying to think of political action.
Right, that was my part. It's like favors, Imperial Summons.
I think progressive, that's a battle. Yeah,
it's a battle.
Not a lot.
Like playing progressive out of your
you can
gets it.
Bow, Doji, Hoshihana, 2 favors, then straighten. So maybe Dishonor, maybe gets put in. So there you go. That I think I like. I just talked myself into it. I don't really like this card that much at all for honor, or I like it okay for honor, but I think this card is good because it has potential to be slid into the Crane Dishonor decks, right? Because you take some kind of artifact and then you straight Hoshihana.
Yep.
Okay. Good enough.
Doji Moro.
This is sort of when I was talking about Burrito, and I was like, I'd rather just have a magistrate that does something. I don't know if I'd rather have a magistrate that does a Fear 2 and has Resilient. There was no question mark here. Gains the force if about a 2/4 guy. When you're playing in military decks, are
a 2 pH guy
attacking you with 2/4, 2 pH guys. Okay, I guess light Mashika. I mean, it's not going to be a lot of targets. Does have Resilient, so.
Yes, that is the text on the cards. I think that this is
defend and play some nonsense, and then you say,
No. This is a perfect example of the do nothing Resilient we've seen for the last 2 or 3 sets.
Yeah.
I'm not excited about this card. I don't even have anything clever to say about it in review. This is just like there's 160 something cards in this set. I think this is like the 158th card they designed.
Yeah, and then each battle Fear 2 maybe the lamest I just do thing I've ever seen. Like, I'm a stool. You're scared. Okay, so to keep it a worry, this is the other artisan. It's more clearly that like, hey, there's this dishonor thing you can do. The card and play it, and it has expendable. One of the few cards sort of keep on screwing that chicken, man. Keep on keeping up with your trades. I just don't think I care. I don't think this interests me at all. It's only when they assign, I move in, and they lose 1. It's just not enough. It was 2 for their PH. I got nothing. I guess it's sort of pseudo cavalry thing against cavalry, like whatever.
Saya really spoiled me for this sort of ability.
I think that's probably where I'm at too. Saya's just awesome, and this guy isn't.
Yep.
The lack of ability to combo with something like ambush
Yeah. Yeah.
is fine. So I guess it's yeah, and if the target is attacked.
You can ambush
They
with this. Yeah, this guy works with
no,
ambush. It
but
doesn't say
they
that his
all
player.
no. They only lose honor if they attack.
Oh, that's right.
It just yeah. I mean, okay. I mean, here's another card. I don't think this card is even interesting enough to get me to
This,
read that archetype. That's
yeah,
a fun archetype. It's just not very good.
this one kind
Like,
of
you gotta
goes back to my rant about the fortification guy too. Of like, this is not a very powerful ability to like lose one. So I don't understand why you can't play it and make them defend. I don't see what the like. I value economy of text in these cards.
right. If it was just after a target assigned to moves to a battlefield, move or are there, and the player loses 2 honor, it would be clearly more powerful, but not so much more powerful as to be disorienting or overpowered. Right? It would be like, yeah, okay,
Like
that's what they.
the move Awari there isn't even necessarily a good ability. So like
Yeah,
that's not necessarily like
or
a good thing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's
put them
saying
at
like if to use the ability, he must assign to defend.
and doesn't dishonor, right? So like it's just a point of honor loss. It doesn't even
Right.
like set up any other cards. So yeah, pretty tough for that one if that's what I pull.
So we get to our experienced but not unique crane guy,
Yep.
Shinichi.
Also Brazilian guy in Ijitsu Unstoppable Battle.
Yep, it bows. And people will play this card. People love duels, and his duel sort of does something.
Right. It's a home run for people. People are gonna love this card. It's a duelist and he's got a battle ability that we've seen this before. You either go home or you bow. We've seen that exact thing before. Some flavor debate about dueling Daiseichu, but his focus cards have +1 focus. So as a duelist on all his duels, like all the time. If
Yeah,
you which I mean I don't know if that'll force people to play them in tandem, but like it's a
that's a pretty
they're like,
push.
oh
That's a
by the
pretty
way,
push trait, dude. Like you can
it's
never lose
one
a duel if you control this other
right
guy.
like I might take you over here, so like I'm always gonna win, ha ha ha, that's fun. And the fact that it is an unstoppable battle is nice,
Yeah,
and resilient is nice, and duelist is nice, and I think he's appropriately costed. I will say that Dragon have the 3-4 for 7 magistrate that sends home the guy with the lowest pH, and he sees only fringe. So there's not like send a guy home or bow when your opponent's going to have the choice which effect results. Like that's about appropriate. Like he's not overpowered. He's about rightly powered for 9 gold, but he's good.
well, I mean,
Well,
I've been so opposite of spoiled on dueling, and they've been printing all these like, if you win the duel, get +1 force kind of guys. So if I
yeah,
see something that even says bow or send home, like I like the strength of the crane card. I thought that it was a fine playable battle
sure,
action in a deck that wants it, and this is just that except unstoppable.
right,
So
and dueling an uptick this set, so this guy is helpful there. And hey, look, now maybe Crane can go instead of winning the second most quotas, win the most quotas. Hooray!
that's right. So they got some tools. Crane as always gets a solid boxable, a solid
Yep.
experienced unique guy, and a solid honor guy. And man, it must be tough being Crane.
And yet, Crane players will still say, "Well, we're not as good as Mantis." Okay, so we're on. Yep.
All right, so that's Crane. Let us know what you think of the boys in the blue pajamas. They're of course the best faction, always will be. But if you have an opinion that's different, you're probably wrong. Oh, I forgot to talk about flavored Judge Judy on this card. He doesn't have any succulent
Oh,
petals, but there are some birds flying in the background, which I believe to be acceptable.
I felt it has a very clueless
They're
look
not
after
doves
that.
though. They should be doves. They're sort of like they look like herons or ducks or something. They're sort of brown.
Yeah.
They
Are
sh-
they crane flight? That'd be pretty neat. Do cranes fly, or do they just stand awkwardly?
I think cranes fly.